Lastly, just wanted to finish out on your new book, Sold Out. I know it's coming out, I think, a little bit later this year. You're going deep into here. It's a supply chain, kind of 1.0 and what you call 2.0. Why do people need to understand what's happening here?
Well, I make the point the supply chain as we know it. Um, I call it supply chain 1.0. I date from 1989, fall of the Berlin Wall, and the rise of globalization to 2019, just prior to the pandemic. So a 30-year period. And I know the guy who built it, and he said to me, he said, Jim, you got to understand, it took us 30 years to build this, and we blew it up in 3 years. It's not coming back, not soon. It'll take 5 or 10 years to rebuild, but this is not a flavor of the month. This is not going away soon. This problem is not going away soon. Um, I also make the point in my book that there's nothing new about supply chains, and I use an example of the Uluburun wreck in Turkey, which was a Bronze Age shipwreck, but it was discovered by a diver by accident in the 80s, and they excavate underwater archaeology and excavation, and they discovered goods from amber from the Baltic Sea to gold from Sudan to swords and cedar from the Levant, Lebanon, present day Syria, to other goods from Mycenae, and they were all on the vessel. So obviously they were doing a counterclockwise trade route, and things were being consigned and dropped off and sold and picked up all along the way. So, but if you do Baltic Sea to Sudan and then Iran to Spain, it's like 5 million square miles. So you had a supply chain in the Bronze Age. You always have. What's new was supply chain science. It was the combination of computing power, which came along, and better models and a quest for efficiency that gave rise to the modern supply chain. That has now broken down. I explain why in depth. There will be a new supply chain, because going back to the Bronze Age example, there's always one, but is it efficient? How does it work? What does it look like? And there are what I call supply chain 2.0 will be, it goes by different names. Macron calls it's not convergence. It's, Johnny Yellen calls it friendshoring, onshoring, collegium, it goes by different names. But the idea is we'll build supply chains, but only with our friends. There's China will be out. Russia, I'd like to see included, but they're going to be out, obviously. So this will be the Western democracies, the EU, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, some others, and then other friends. Maybe there's some middle states who join in. Brazil, India, you might want to put in that category, et cetera. And they'll trade with each other, but they won't rely on China. They won't trade with China or friends of China, or at least for the time being with Russia. So the supply chains are going to be rebuilt. It'll take 5 years at least. They'll be around, but all of a sudden you'll find semiconductors are made in the United States, and the soybeans from Brazil are going to, India, and mining output from Australia is coming to Europe, but China's going to be out of the loop, and China and others. So, but this is going to take years to build, and it's going to be a rough road between here and there.
Wow. Looking forward to that book coming out. And again, I highly recommend people watching the separate video, Countdown to Crisis. There's a link below, but it goes deeper on everything you talked about now and how people can position themselves to profit from this crash in 2022. Jim, you seem like you're in more demand than ever for your ideas, which is incredible. You seem like you're in the best form of your life that I can see. What are the next 5 years like for you? Is it more research, more of these interesting ideas? Are you going to be taking other time to do fun things as well with your life, or what does that look like?
Well, I try to do fun things along the way. My sports are mountain climbing, skiing, love sailing. I haven't sailed as much in recent years, but I have a lot over the years. So, I can't tell my wife I got my eye on a new boat, but she'll, if I make it a birthday present, maybe that works. Yeah. So, and I enjoy sports and family. Family comes first. So, but in terms of what I'm doing, it's funny. You think Sold Out, which is coming out in November or December in the UK, will be my 7th book. You're like, hey, Jim, you wrote 7 books. Isn't that enough? It's like, I keep getting new ideas. So I actually have a pipeline of maybe 3 more books. Got to talk to my publisher and work that out. But I'll probably keep writing. I enjoy it. It's hard work. I don't. People say, Jim, how do you write books? I said, just keep writing. But it is hard work. But I like doing it. So probably do that. My newsletters are growing. Strategic Intelligence is kind of the flagship. I got 4 or 5 the more specialized newsletters. They're more expensive, but people like them because we have recommendations. So kind of writing, traveling, public speaking, love doing interviews like this and opportunities like this. So I'll probably keep going, but do try to enjoy life along the way. I think the idea that, well, I'm going to work really hard and then retire and then I'll start to enjoy life. I don't adopt that model. I don't have a concept of retirement. I do work hard, but I don't believe in deferring, everything. You need to do that to stay fresh and be good at your day job.